that dial. You're now listening to Debate Talk Radio.
Liberal.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's get started. What grade would you give our president in regards to the past 4 years of his presidency? You know, a lot of people have a lot of mixed feelings about, the president due to the economy, a lot of jobs, still need a lot of jobs out there. As a matter of fact, I have a little clip on some of the views that people have out there. Just take a listen.
I'm asking people about some of the things that are in the news. Do you think Barack Obama opposes a threat to the United States?
No, because the U.S. is a step of everything from the result of 9/11, and I don't think he's a threat as of right now.
Do you think Barack Obama opposes a threat to the United States?
Sure.
How so?
He's still out there and he's still plotting.
He's still plotting?
He still has his organization intact. He still wants to bring us down. Yeah.
Do you think Barack Obama poses a threat to the United States?
Of course.
How so? In what way?
Because he's always planning to do something against us.
How do you feel about Barack Obama?
Not good, like bad.
In what way?
That he attacked us. Scary.
How do you feel about Barack Obama going on TV talking to the American people?
I think it's good that we know, what he's thinking,
Do you think Barack Obama poses a threat?
I don't know. I never really thought about that. I mean, I'm American, so I don't like him, but I don't think that we're focusing on, him at all. So I guess we're not paying enough attention to him.
What country do you
So as you can hear, there's a lot of crazy views out there about our president, man. What do you think about those views, brother?
That's one of the most interesting clips I've ever heard in reference to the president. It just goes to show how ill-informed some people are out there. I mean, just the name alone. I mean, it's just incredible how they can confuse that. Basically, the president shouldn't get an overall single grade. I personally feel like the president deserves a sliding grade. I think it can range, for me personally, I think the president will, he goes down as one of the best presidents in the history of our country. You can debate that all you want, but I think he ranges between an A- and a B+.
Okay.
There are many reasons why he would get those grades. I mean, there's good and there's bad, but I think overall for the country's progress that he's made during this time, I think he deserves a minimum of a B+ for the performance that he's done over the past 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Now, tell us, what do you think about the Republican Party and how they've handled, dealing with the president for these past 4 years?
I got to tell you, I mean, at one time the Republican Party was not as extreme as they are today. I mean, I don't know if you want to, attribute that to the influx of the Tea Party. But there's no longer a moderate side to the Republican Party. I remember back when George Bush Sr. ran for president. I mean, his views were more moderate than most Republicans. I mean, if I could pick a very moderate Republican, it would be George Bush. Since then, I can't tell you how far to the right the Republican Party has gone. I can hardly find anything to agree with them anymore. It's just too extreme. I can't relate to them anymore.
Yeah, so it does look like. Do you think it's like some kind of racial agenda, or what do you feel like about that?
Well, I read an interesting quote from one of the Baldwin brothers that I believe he said that if the president were white, he would be up 17 points right now. I mean, I want to agree with that. I want to agree with that because I know that Barack Obama being the first black president only adds to the general stress. I mean, once Barack was voted into presidency, we know that there are 2 confirmed meetings that the Republican House had saying that they wanted to make him a one-term president. I mean, that was before day one. So there's got to be some form of racial agenda behind that. I feel that way.
It's kind of crazy. What about the debates? Did you watch the debates that just passed with Mitt Romney and Barack Obama? Did you check out the debates?
I sure did. I waited for that debate for about a full calendar year. I thought for sure Barack Obama was going to come out swinging. Unfortunately, the debate seemed to have favored Mitt Romney. Now, if I had to say that anyone won the debate, it would be Mitt Romney. I mean, he appeared to be the winner in terms of just sheer energy.
Yeah. Where
Barack Obama seemed to be disengaged, not really prepared for the responses that Mitt Romney were giving. Mitt Romney even took control of the moderator's position at one point. It's just Mitt Romney looked like the superior debater, but still, I feel that there was a huge lack of the substance behind everything that he was saying. There was it was full of false promises. I just can't understand how out of touch he is with the real needs of America.
Mm-hmm. So on that debate alone, what grade would you give Barack Obama? What grade would you give him?
On the debate?
Yeah.
On the debate, I would say that Barack Obama gets a D on that. I don't say he failed. He did come out with good points. He tried to seem too presidential. You don't want anyone to say, "Well, there goes that angry black man talking on the podium." So I think he was just reserved. I think he gets a D for his attempt, but his lack of energy and his lack of going back. There were points that he could have brought up to Mitt Romney. He could have brought up Bain. He could have brought up the 47% comment. He did none of that. He kind of just took the punches.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, anybody that wants to have a question or have a comment, you can call 877-280-9681. That's 877-280-9681. And we'll be taking your grades, too. Like, what do you think? What grade would you give Barack Obama or Mitt Romney on the debates? Just call in and we'll add you into the conversation. I watched the debates, too, and I agree. Like, Barack Obama didn't look the same. He looked like, he actually looked like too relaxed or, like he wasn't really engaged into what was going on. Hold on. I think we do have a caller. Hold on. Let me chime somebody in. Hold on. You're listening to Debate Talk for You. Who am I speaking to?
This is Brother Stanley. I'm just listening.
Hey. Hey, what's up, Brother Stanley? How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? I'm blessed, man.
Okay.
Can't complain.
All right, man. See you. All right.
Yeah,
well,
I'm just listening.
Yeah,
just
all right,
listening.
My brother.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the call.
Not a problem.
All right. Yeah, man. So definitely. Next question. What are your views on Mitt Romney? What's your personal views about him? Do you think he's even like, if he does happen to win, do you think he'll somewhat do a good job?
That's a matter of time. I think personally, Romney is too out of touch with the largest percentage of people in the United States, which is the middle class.
Yeah.
I think he panders more towards the extreme right agenda and mostly to I'm going to say it, the super rich. I mean, he is single-handedly going to destroy Medicare and other entitlement programs. I mean, I can't even begin to start with what his policies are going to do to the entitlement programs. I mean, if you want to call them that. I mean, he's looking to repeal and replace the largest moving health care system in the entire universe's history in Obamacare. And he has no way to announce what he is going to replace Obamacare with. When he grandfathered Obamacare with Romneycare in Massachusetts. I just think that his extreme approach, his negative foreign policy status, he believes Russia is one of our greatest adversaries. I mean, it's just not. He's just out of touch. I don't think he's going to be a good president if he even has a spot to win. I just don't think he'll be an effective president for this country.
So, do you think he'll be worse than President Bush?
I think that he would be Bush-like. George W. Bush, believe it or not, wasn't to me the absolute worst president in our history. There are other people that you can go knock down one at a time. I think Jimmy Carter wasn't doing too well. But, again, you know, the shining light on presidency that Republicans have is President Reagan. And his Reaganomics didn't do too well for the middle class either. So I think we have a pattern here. I think that, you know, from George W. Bush to Mitt Romney, there's not going to be much of a change. I think we're going to take all of the progress that we have made, and we're going to go backwards.
It's kind of scary.
It seems scary. It seems scary. It just doesn't seem like Mitt Romney's prepared to handle the issues that the non-super rich have. It's just he never grew up in that environment. He grew up the day he was born. He was given millions of dollars, basically, and he never had to struggle. There was never a sign of struggle in his life. No history of struggle except for the health. And you see, this is why I'm confused. The reason why he struggled with health issues is because, as you know, his wife suffered from cancer. And it was that momentum that he took to create the Romney Care in Massachusetts, and now he wants to repeal and replace the same exact health care system in Obamacare. So I just don't understand why he swings so extreme. I just don't think he's a good choice for presidency, if you ask me.
So what are some of the things that the president needs to work on if he is to win this election?
Well,
or do you already think he has it in the bag already?
I don't. I want to say he has it in the bag, but I just think he needs to do a little bit more about this unemployment issue in respect to getting the American Jobs Act passed. I think he needs to get the leadership within the House to get that bill passed. There are issues within that American Jobs Act that the Republican side just doesn't agree with because of various issues. But I think he has to get tougher. I think he has to lead the House and some of his super committees with an iron fist. But what I like about Barack Obama is that he puts together the country piece by piece. And when you do that, what you do is you create a solid foundation.
Yeah.
And when you create that solid foundation, you're ultimately going to have a solid building. And I think the Republican Party is looking to rush that. So I think that Barack Obama is on the right path. The unemployment went down below 8%, which is the magic number that the Republican Party has been putting out there. And he's doing a great job so far. I just think he has to toughen up a little bit.
Okay. So what do you think about the current economy and stuff like that? Because a lot of Republicans are knocking President Obama because of the economy, the loss of jobs, stuff like that. What is your overall view about the economy? Do you think it has gotten better?
Well, it's what they would call anemic. It's a slow growth, but no matter what, it is pro-growth. It's a healthy progress. The economy is looking good for the rich, and because the stock market is at an all-time, it's at an all-time high for the last 8 years. We have the housing market. The cost of homes are going up by at least 12-13%. And jobs are coming back at 125 to 150,000 jobs a month. Where when we were in our with our last president, there was a hemorrhage of jobs. So I think that the economy right now is stable. I think it's going in the right direction, but still it's a little slower than what most people want. And I could see why there's a lot of frustration, but I still think that there's a good progress going on. It's going uphill.
Okay. Wow. So what do you think about, are you getting any slack on your views, like when you speak to people, like regularly, maybe on your job, or like any Republicans out there? Do you get like any negative feedback from people on your views when it comes to Barack Obama?
It's so funny because I do get negative feedback, but it's almost unsubstantiated. They don't back their stuff up. I'll tell any one of your listeners, if you want to have a debate, we can do this. We can rock and roll. I would love to sit with someone on the Republican side that's just like me, who hasn't been a politician his whole life, and sit with me and talk about why Barack Obama is a bad president and why I think he's a good president. And you'll be surprised as to how much people don't know. I often refer them to fair weather baseball fans. You could say you're a Yankee fan your whole life, and then all of a sudden I ask you to name one or two of the outfielders on the team. You have no idea who they are. You just know the team.
That's
you
right.
just know the team.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think we have a few callers. Hold on, let me add somebody into the conversation. Hold on. 908, you're live on Debate Talk Radio.
Hi, it's Vanessa.
Okay. Do you have a question?
No, is that Desmond Chance on the phone?
No, that's not Desmond Chance. Actually, we're
okay.
awaiting his call. We're awaiting his call to add, be a special guest on the show as well. So stand by. He's going to be on this real soon. All right? 212, you're live on Debate Talk Feed. Do you have a question? 212.
This is Desmond Chance.
Oh, what's up, Des? What's going on? Oh, there you go.
I just want to apologize for the technical difficulties. I had some issues with my phone, so actually I'm on a payphone.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that is commitment.
Listen, I had to do what I had to do, man. I couldn't listen to this too long, what I'm saying, without getting involved. And then I hear someone else come on, a Republican come on, so I got to do my thing too.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you calling, man. Any means necessary, definitely, man. So what grade would you give Barack Obama, being that I have you on the phone?
I think across the board, you have to look at different areas. And I would have to say B- to a B+, to a B. And the reason why I say that is because if you want to just focus on the economy itself, we're in the midst of a recovery. And the recovery is not quite complete. So, he doesn't get an A, he doesn't get a B+ from me. It's a lot of things that have to be fixed. I think that if you look at where we were and where we are, it's no doubt that we've, improved, that the situation has improved economically. But a lot of people, namely the Republican side, the right wing, want to talk about how bad and how slow the recovery is when they're responsible for throwing us into the ditch. Right? So if they're responsible for or driving the car into the ditch, I don't think they have much of a say as to how long we're taking to get our wheels out of the mud and back up the hill when you threw us off the cliff into the mud. So we went from a time in 2009 when we were losing 700 to 800,000 jobs a month with this ridiculous economy that was left to us by 8 years of Bush, and then we had 31 consecutive months. As the last month was the 31st consecutive month of job growth, which brought the unemployment numbers from 10% as it peaked in 2009 to now 7.8%. So it's something that you cannot argue. You can't argue about the progress that we've had. But I think that the job is not done, that we are on a recovery stage, and that's something to be celebrated. However, it's not fully complete, so I have to give him a B- B+. I mean B.
I agree with Desmond 100% on that.
Okay.
I agree 100% on that. 42 straight months of private sector job growth. I mean, 2.5 million private sector jobs. He's right. Desmond is absolutely correct. We were hemorrhaging when Barack Obama took office, and now it's 42 straight months of growth. I mean, you can't say anything more about that. There's just no negative. There's no negative there.
Pretty much.
That's right. What about the debates? Did you catch the debates, Des?
Yeah, I did get the debate. I was really disappointed in Barack Obama's performance, actually. I mean, I expected a lot more out of him. He is the president. He should have the swag of a president. He should have that type of, confidence behind him. And I didn't see that. I saw Romney, who was very rehearsed, who's had a lot of time to rehearse because he wasn't a president. He was basically a candidate, so all you do is debate. So he was actually
Absolutely.
basically following a script. He's a great actor. I mean, that's what he gets for that. He's a great actor.
Absolutely.
And
more, yeah.
And that's why I think that Barack Obama lost the debate. But I think going forward on Obama's strengths, which is going to be foreign policy, you're going to see I hope, because if you don't, he's going to lose the election. You're going to see a better Barack Obama performance, because he's going to be dealing with things that he has as strength. Now, that was his weakness, the economy. But when you go forward, you're going to see him in the next couple of debates. You're going to see an improvement.
I agree. You know, on top of that, Mitt Romney was a businessman, so he was used to giving debate-like speeches to a huge audience that he was trying to sell to. So he's very familiar with how to engage an audience with what they want to hear. So I agree with Desmond now.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have a caller still here for you, man. Hold on for a second, Des. 908, are you still on?
Yes, I am. Hey, Des, it's Vanessa.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I'm not calling from a payphone, but I do want to thank Obama because I'm calling from an Obama phone, my brand new Obama phone that I was able to get since he became president.
Oh, so you should be thanking for him. You should be thanking him.
Yeah, I know.
Ungrateful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I'm not ungrateful at all. Listen, if it wasn't for Obama, I wouldn't even be able to wake up this morning.
Oh,
I hear you. So what grade would you give Barack Obama for the past 4 years of his election?
I give him an A+++++++, because when he took office, black unemployment was 12.7%, and it hit highs of almost 17%, and now it hovers around 15%. So the higher the black unemployment goes, the more pluses he gets on the A's.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
That's sarcasm at its best.
Wait a minute, sarcasm? What are you talking about?
I agree with Vanessa. She, the black unemployment was the hardest hit. Michigan, Florida, the unemployment was tremendously high. So Barack Obama did. You also get the side where Barack Obama does not have, those numbers low enough yet. So he gets flack from all sides about that.
Yeah.
And especially because 96% of black people voted for him.
Beautiful.
Now that support. Wait, I'd like to finish, please, if that's okay with you.
Go ahead.
Now it's gone down. Thank you. I appreciate you for letting me finish. Now it's gone down to about 92%. So it's just ironic that we continue to support the same failed policies that have really, really crippled our inner cities and really crippled our communities. And I was being sarcastic because I'm one of the 6% of black people in 2008 who didn't vote for Obama, and I'm definitely not going to vote for him this time around. And it's not like, I'm very Afrocentric. It's not like I didn't have heartburn not voting for him, but when I heard some of his economic prescriptions for our downturn, I just knew that things would get worse under his leadership, which they have. And a lot of people are touting the new 7.8% unemployment as this huge thing. Yes, we're having such a great recovery, when in fact what they're doing is they're helping us accept this new normal, which is really, really high unemployment, and it shouldn't be that way. And I just want to add something. A lot of people don't realize that, we did have tremendous amount of issues that did indeed begin under actually the Clinton administration that sort of, it fell on George Bush's lap. But black unemployment hit one of its lowest actually under George Bush, which was, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit around, I don't remember the exact number, but I know black unemployment under George Bush hit historic lows. Now, granted, it did go up again during the economic recession. What I try to tell and reinforce in black thinkers is that you're not going to have a perfect leader in a Democrat. You're not going to have a perfect leader in a Republican, because we have intelligent people on both sides, and we also have a lot of idiots. But I try to tell black people, don't just discount someone because they're a Republican, and don't just accept someone and vote for them just because they're a Democrat. We need to have both parties fight for our attention, and as it stands, we're being ignored by both because we're just giving our votes away to one, and we just assume that the other group are racist. They don't care about us or what they're gonna do for me, and blah 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 blah. So I'm definitely gonna vote for Romney and Paul Ryan because I feel like because Romney was in the private sector, and I know he gets a lot of flack for things like Bain Capital, he understands more how to move things along so that there's more private sector growth.
Is your name Vanessa? Hello?
Yeah, hold on.
Yes.
Yeah.
My name is Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa. How are you?
Shout out to my Haitians. No, I'm just playing. Okay.
My name is IZZY, and I wanted to ask you something about the unemployment number under George Bush. Did you realize that unemployment number was high because of what Bill Clinton did? Because Bill Clinton.
Wait, what unemployment number was high? Which one? The black unemployment or general unemployment?
The black unemployment. You said the black unemployment was at its lowest under George W. Bush, correct?
That's not what I said. I said black unemployment hit historic lows under George Bush, which implies fluidity. It didn't stay low, but it hit historic lows under him, and also Ronald Reagan.
That was because of the policies that Bill Clinton put in place, number one. Number two, as a woman, you should be very proud about the Lilly Ledbetter Act that Barack Obama, legislated.
Which policies? I'm just quick question. Which policies specifically under Bill Clinton led to historic lows of black unemployment during George Bush?
General unemployment went to a historic low because of Bill Clinton.
Like what? Give me some examples.
He had the highest GDP in the history of our country. He had the lowest. He gave George W. Bush a surplus in which George Bush lost.
Oh boy, here we go. Okay, sir, can you just answer my question? I just need to know which policies specifically passed under Bill Clinton.
As you told Desmond, give me a second.
Yeah, Des, you want to add something to this conversation, Des?
Well, actually, I wanted to sit back and let Vanessa say what I already know she was going to say, and talk about how black people are doing so horribly and how Democrats should not get their support. But when you look at the record of Republicans just in history, they have a horrible record on the economy in general. Let's break down three historical things. We have the Great Recession, which is the current recession that we're recovering from due to policies of Barack Obama, right? After 8 years of what? 8 years of a Republican administration. Okay? Take that. Keep that in mind. We're going to go back now to the 1930s. There was something called the Great Depression. That started after a stock market crash in 1929, and it spurred on the Great Depression, which went throughout the 30s. What was preceded by that? 8 years of a Republican administration. Warren G. Harding from 21 to 23, then Mr. Calvin Coolidge from 23 to 29. Let's go back even further. 1873, Panic of 1873. Similar to the stock market crash of 1929, what happened there? That was called the Long Depression. Three ridiculously economic crises that happened and were once again preceded by a Republican administration. Ulysses S. Grant, 69 to 73, 1869 to 1873, and then it was picked up by Rutherford B. Hayes, another Republican, who helped the Long Depression along. So in those three instances, the worst economic calamities in U.S. history have been preceded by Republican administrations. Now, I just want to say one more thing regarding the last 52 years, something that Bill Clinton brought up. Awesome, banging. He said this in the Democratic National Convention. Since 1961, 52 years, a block of a half a century of a sample right now I'm going to give you. 66 million jobs have been created, right? Out of those 66 million jobs that were created, 42 million of them, were created under Democratic administrations, and 24 were created, 24 million were created under Republican administration. What I'm telling you right now is that Republicans can talk all they want. They can speak about their trickle-down economics and all of these different things. Everything sounds good on spreadsheets. You can make up all these different kind of statistical magic words, but when it comes down to results. And what we're seeing here is that we have yet again another Democrat president, another Democrat administration trying to clean up a huge mess that Republicans have left for us. So that's the reason why a lot of people vote for Democrats. That's the reason why Republicans are trying to suppress the vote, because they know that if the majority votes, they lose. Because the majority knows, most people know, that they're better for us. It's the lesser of two evils, but they're better for us than Republicans.
Absolutely.
Can I respond?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Debate talk for you.
What did you say?
This is a show called the Debate Talk for you. You are definitely ready to respond. You can respond.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
thank you once again, Desmond, for giving me permission to speak. The other brother, I'm sorry. What is your name again?
Izzy.
Izzy? Okay. Now, I did ask you to just list one policy enacted by Bill Clinton that was able to positively affect black unemployment under George Bush's watch. Because you said that
was at an all-time low.
Oh, okay, okay, that's fine. So you said general unemployment. Name me one. I just asked you to just name me one policy that Bill Clinton enacted that helped George Bush lower general unemployment to historic lows. That's number one. Number two,
that's easy. Wait, let me answer your first one. The answer to that question.
I just wanted to respond to Desmond also, and then I promise you can name me the list of policies. I just wanted to respond to Desmond also.
The question is mine. Let him answer. You're going to do a diatribe.
What you're trying to avoid is me saying what you want me not to say. The Bush-era tax cuts. That is exactly why our unemployment skyrocketed, because of the Bush-era tax cuts. The Bush-era tax cuts eliminated the tax breaks that were given to the middle class during the Clinton years, and it eliminated the taxes that were installed to the upper class.
Okay, you do realize that unemployment went down after the tax cuts, right? Unemployment went down to historic lows after the 2003 tax cuts.
Absolutely not true. Remember,
go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This is history. You can't just make, just because you're saying stuff doesn't make it true. Unemployment dropped to historic lows. The economy grew between 2003 and 2007, specifically after the 2003 tax cuts.
The economy is like a train.
We just almost had a second Great Depression. How are you touting his record of economic success?
I can't believe that. Vanessa, the economy is like a train. Just because you hit the brakes doesn't mean it stops automatically. Okay? He hit the brakes on the taxes. That took 6 years to develop. Okay? So the job creation took 4 years to develop. It all happens because of policies that were installed a year or two before. This is why Barack Obama needs to be voted back in. You cannot fix the economy in 4 years. This is what they mean by that.
Okay, again,
4 years.
I would encourage
15 years.
I would encourage anyone who's listening to go look at unemployment numbers specifically between 2003 and 2007, because everything you're saying right now are lies. Unemployment just definitely hit historic lows. Granted, after 2007, things did go up because the economy started to because of the housing bubble burst. Things started to definitely go bad, which is why unemployment went back up. But between 2003 and 2007, that's after the Bush tax cuts. The second tax cuts were passed, things definitely went down. Not only that, according to the Black Bureau of Commerce under, I don't remember the guy's name, black-owned businesses also went up significantly during that period, more so than white-owned businesses. There was a lot of private sector growth in the black community. Again, the Black Chamber of Commerce has a list of statistics corroborating with what it is that I just said, and I encourage people to really, really go look up those things. Now, responding to Desmond, what you're basically saying is that I just want to understand you clearly. Every single time Republicans there's a Republican who's president, things go bad. Is that what you're saying,
No,
Desmond?
actually, no. What I want to point out to you was the three worst economic conditions that we've had have been preceded by Republican administrations. So what I'm trying to tell you is Republicans have a horrible, in each century, in the 21st century with the Great Recession, in the 20th century with the Great Depression, and in the 19th century with the Long Depression. But this is the whole thing. I also touted the numbers over the last 52 years. You can say all you want about how great certain pockets of the society are doing, temporarily under Republican administrations, but we're looking at long samples of time. We see that the numbers bear out that Democrats have actually been better. They have actually been better in job creation and economic growth, way more better than Republicans. And you can tout Reagan all you want because that's the only thing you guys have in the last 50 years. And there's a lot of things to be said about the 80s with economic growth, but there's
That's not true. We have Dwight D. Eisenhower
that happened in the 80s. It was the crack boom. I mean, whatever you want to call it. But we
have Dwight D. Eisenhower. We have Richard Nixon.
Nostalgic, great time for people in America under Reagan. I mean, come on. That's all you guys have, though. If you could resurrect Ronald Reagan, go into the grave, dig up his bones, and somehow put this guy in the office, you guys will accept it. You'll be like, yeah, this is the guy. This is the one who... Because you guys talk about how Democrats, they raise up Obama, but you guys, you deify this dude. I mean, he's a god to you guys.
But the same way you guys deify Bill Clinton. I mean, I was just talking about things that happened under George Bush's watch, and all of a sudden if anything good happened under George Bush's watch, we have to give Bill Clinton the credit because Republicans can't get credit from you guys for anything that is good because we know all Republicans are evil. If that's the case,
I'm sorry.
There were a lot of economic issues under Gerald Ford, who was a Republican,
right.
And Richard Nixon. Jimmy Carter comes into office, and things get worse. The misery index skyrockets, and all of a sudden Ronald Reagan has to come in and clean up the mess.
Right.
So I know that you're into the whole, selective history thing, but more black millionaires were created under Ronald Reagan's watch. Was he a perfect president? No. But why is it that you all are unable to acknowledge the times when there's been significant private sector growth in the black community, which is, I think, something that we should all vie for, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat? What is it that we can do so that we can move our people away from government dependence? Because we know as people of color, we can't trust the government like that.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Definitely, we have good and bad situations, good and bad economic conditions under both parties.
Praise the Lord, Desmond. I'm glad you acknowledge that.
I mean, I'm not going to come up here and say that everything is totally terrible with Republicans and everything is totally great with Democrats. We already know that. But what we're debating here is, first of all, we're debating what Obama has done and what kind of grade we're going to give him. And I'm giving you a large sample as to, the record of Republicans and Democrats. I think if everything was tallied up, Democrats have a better record. In many things, not just in civil rights.
That's subjective, though. That's just your opinion. That's not how I look at it. Yes, there was a Republican. There was a Republican administration during the Great Depression, but then we had FDR, and things got worse after he passed all his New Deals. Things got worse, and they were even worse for the black community. We didn't get out.
Yeah, Izzy, you said you wanted to say something, Izzy?
The funny thing is that I'm listening, and both of you guys have extremely valid points. But the honest question is, who would make a better president now? and that's between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. And Mitt Romney's policies are not better for the country today. If you want to look at his record, look at his record in Massachusetts. They were 47th in job growth. They have the worst job growth in the history of their state under Mitt Romney. I mean, I don't understand how he would be the great prescriber for the country.
Well, I think that it's great that we actually have a frame of reference for Mitt Romney's leadership capabilities, and I'm intellectually honest enough to acknowledge that there are some things that I think are great and some things that I would kind of, say, okay, well, maybe he should have worked on that a little bit more, but we can't. 4 years ago, we couldn't say that about Barack Obama. His whole campaign spiel was hopey, feely, changey stuff, and everybody was sold the goods. Now, after 4 years of leadership, I heard Desmond say earlier, well, he wasn't very presidential, and I'm surprised that he was like that.
In one debate.
Whenever you take Barack Obama out of his comfort zone, which is just pure adulation and worship from people in an audience, he's going to fail, and he will continue to fail.
And he
okay, because a leader is not supposed to crumble. A leader is not supposed to crumble. Okay, from the president of these United States, the leader of the free world, should have been able, theoretically, to wipe the floor with Mitt Romney. And the reason why he didn't is because he's an intellectual lightweight, and he's not.
Oh, and you're intellectual heavyweight, right? In contrast to a Harvard graduate, President of the United States, and you're an intellectual heavyweight, right? Are we talking in relative terms, or are we talking that you actually can go up there and mop the floor with Obama?
Wait a minute. Let's not forget that Mitt Romney completely obliterated the moderator, PBS. He was not there to listen. Do you want someone like Mitt Romney to talk to Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel with that tone? Let me tell you about how sensitive the Middle East conflict is right now, and how we don't need a person like Mitt Romney who just overbears the conversation. We don't need that. And on top of that, as far as the president's concerned, he is totally intellectual. He was the first black person to head the Harvard Review. Now, if you know anything about heading anything, then you would know how difficult it is to get on top of something like the Harvard Review. The gentleman is a genius, and like all good lawyers, they wait for their closing statements.
He's such a genius that looked like an idiot on television when he should have wiped the floor with Mitt Romney.
That's an exaggeration, but it seems to burn you inside when you see that people give him credit. This is the first black president, and he's turning around a huge economic crisis. He's actually turning around despite what Fox News says, despite what the right wing is saying. They're closing their eyes to the inevitable. What's happening here? They're closing their eyes to what is obvious. This country is turning itself around slowly. But listen, it's slowly, but it's happening, and this is why the Republicans are fighting to have this next 4 years. You know what these next 4 years mean? Because if this thing continues to recover, I'm telling you, if this thing continues to recover under Barack Obama, as it looks like it is because he turned it around, Republicans will have nothing to say in 2016. Their brand, I don't know where their brand is going to be. What are they going to do? After 8 years of Barack Obama, and we see that things have changed and things have continued to climb, the Republican Party is near extinction. You know why? Because they just put us near another depression, and then a recovery is here. That's why they're fighting for these next 4 years. That's why they tried to block everything, all the progress that he's been trying to make. That's why you have all of these right blogospheres. You have people like you who just want to blind your eye to all the progress that he's made. And that, I'm telling you right now, these next 4 years, it's a battleground. When he wins, you might as well hang that thing up because they're not going to have another election.
I haven't been keeping up with all my buddies at Fox News. I watch MSNBC because I like to see those clowns because they entertain me after a stressful day.
Hilarious.
The people who can I just say something, please?
Yeah,
the people who I'm most concerned about are my students' parents, the people who I interact with every day in Irvington, New Jersey, who are really, really struggling in this economy. So it's not, Glenn Beck, or it's not whoever's still on Fox News that are complaining. These are actually people who voted for Obama that are like, where's all this change that I voted for? Because I'm worse now than I was 4 years ago. So you can, hold your nose out to those people, but those are the people that I'm most concerned about. And then I would like a leader who's going to strengthen the private sector so that those people can work and so that they can take care of their children. Because as it stands, things are horrible for them, and I feel terribly for them.
Vanessa, you're a teacher?
I'm a guidance counselor.
Okay. Well, let's talk about teaching in New Jersey. I know plenty of teachers for the New Jersey Teachers Association, and the Prosperity for America, which is Mitt Romney's crowning achievement when he does become president, thanks to Paul Ryan, they're going to obliterate the Teachers Association.
I love Paul Ryan, by the way. He's so cute.
You should. You should love Paul Ryan. Anyone who can P90X and destroy 150,000 teaching jobs is very respectable. Anyone who can do that. So I admire the fact that you work for a school system that will be decimated by Mitt Romney's policies. It is incredible to hear that you even work.
Wait a minute. You said that 150,000. Let me tell you something. I love people who don't work in public education who try to school me. There is so much waste in public education that it is absolutely ridiculous. So many monies are misallocated to the point where students who are high achieving barely get any type of resources, and they're going to be the ones who bring the most dividends back to their communities, okay? So don't tell me anything about public education because I work in it. And I have solidified my conservative positions, and my thoughts on how government is inefficient are solidified every single time I go to work.
Okay. Well, you can thank Doug Christie for helping the teachers union in New Jersey.
I think he's a great governor.
You should think he's a great governor. Anyone who is setting up your teaching jobs to fail is doing an outstanding job.
No, actually holding teachers accountable for teaching our children is actually a good thing because nothing pisses me off more.
It is a good thing. Can I ask you a question? Do you know where Chris Christie was today?
I work and I live in the inner city. A lot of these teachers come to our communities and they don't want there to be any kind of accountability. I actually want there to be accountability for our kids. You have to show student improvement to get paid, and I don't mind if my paycheck is contingent upon that because that's what.
Yeah, hold on, fellas. Actually, we're winding down to the last few minutes of the show, like 1 minute left. Yeah, but
still
still here, brother. Still here, man. Definitely an extraordinary show. I'm just let Des leave some last comments, and Izzy and also the caller leave some last comments. You can start with Des with your last comments.
All right, I'll just give my last regards. Well, thanks for the good conversation. I think that it is good for people to talk about these things. In general, I just want to say that the name of the show is Grade Your President, and I give Barack Obama, like I said, a B- B on the economy, A on foreign policy. We didn't even speak about that, but I guess that's another show. Overall, I guess he's a B+, but he's going to be reelected, right? So Obama 2012, and that is going to signal basically the end of the Republican Party for maybe a generation. So thank you. That's all I have to say.
Okay. 908, you want to leave your last comments?
Hi, my name is Vanessa.
Vanessa? Mm-hmm.
Yes. You call me 908, which is cool.
Yeah.
I just want to really encourage any listeners to, again, go look at the numbers of the Bureau labor statistics after the Bush tax cuts between 2003 and 2007. But if you don't remember anything I said, just remember that you are valuable, and you are valuable enough. You are valuable enough not to just give your votes away to any party. Make them fight for it. Make them earn it. because you're valuable. That's it.
Okay. All right, Izzy, you have the last comment.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Desmond, incredibly knowledgeable, and Vanessa is as well. And always remember that no matter, like Vanessa said, no matter who wins, you got to get out there and vote. So I think it's critically important for everyone to get out there and vote and, make progress either way for the American country. Barack 2012, though, sorry to say.
All right, well, I want to thank my special guest and also Vanessa for calling in and, some interesting feedback on politics. And we'll see you guys next time.